Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Had Anti-Quirk Weapons. This is part 3. In the last part, Izuku was, confronted by that of Bakugo in his homeroom class with alongside of his lackeys. However, given that Izuku has a little bit more self-confidence in himself, due to his years of training and motivating himself to continue moving forward and to improve himself. However, he soon got in contact with that of the sledge villain. Wanting to fight back, he almost felt like he was, about to die, until on instinct, he brought out one of his anti-quirk knives, stabbing into it and defending himself before All Might shows up, defeats the sledge villain, saves him, and even gives him words of encouragement and advice as well. With that, for the next couple of months, he tries to improve his spatial awareness, but realizing that there's so much somebody like him can do by himself unless he has help to aid him, where he meets a certain spiky black-haired ponytail girl who by the name of Momo Yaoyorozu, who also plans on going to UA as well, but hers is different from his. Due to this, the two now have that of a partnership to help each other improve. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? For the next couple of months or so, both Izuku Midoriya and Momo Yaoyorozu have helped each other improve in not leaps and bounds, but in ways that they never thought that they could before. For example, since Momo has her creation quirk, she creates that of certain projectiles to send flying towards Izuku to help him in his training to improve his spatial awareness and reaction speed time as well. Doing this, Momo begins to send that of multiple projectiles, such as that of balls, a little bit of that of suction cup arrows and all that, and the most of them being cannonballs. She literally uses cannons all the time to try and hit Izuku with, which is a lot. Izuku starting to think is that the girl has an unhealthy obsession over cannons. But let's just say Izuku found himself in that of the sore for at least a couple of weeks or so due to the cannonball injuries, which were not as bad as normal cannonballs because she replaced them with that of a soft material version. But even so, it still hurts like a bitch. However, for Momo's sake, Izuku helps Momo learn that of different types of fighting styles using that of a bow staff. Given that she mostly uses that of a iron rod as that of a close melee weapon when she's in combat, it only seems natural to use something like that for her. But however, she, even with basically being a rich girl, she doesn't have that of true combat experience, not really knowing on how to strike, hit, defend, and all that all at once, due to her overthinking much. Due to this, Izuku can easily overwhelm her due to his self-taught fighting styles using all of his weapons, from swords, bow staffs, spears, lances, axes, and even that of throwing knives and daggers too. At first, when Momo basically started this training, she was always confident in her skills and abilities, such as her quirk, her ability to analyze and predict things, such as that of Izuku, and also because she has that of pure skill and talent that she believes in. Unfortunately, on the other hand, that means nothing if you can't put it to practice. She always overthinks her strategies, tactics, and abilities. Instead of testing them out, figuring things out quickly, she always just takes her time. And because of that, during the first month of them training, when Izuku started training her, she second-guessed herself a lot. And this kind of went on for a little while, with during this time, Momo was always down when they had to start switching out for their training sessions, with Izuku noticing this, saying, "Yeah, Yorozu, are you sure you're okay?" With then she basically raising her head saying, yes, I'm fine. Truly, I am, Midoriya. Let's get within Izuku, not even moving as he crosses his arms saying, "You're not." Far from it, actually. With then saying, "No, I said I was. You don't need to." Yayorozu. With Izuku having out of a stern look saying, "We've been training for what? 3 weeks, 3 months now? I can tell when you're basically feeling down. Is it because that you feel like when we spar together and I overwhelm you, do you feel like you're inferior to me? Do you feel like everything that you've learned and your techniques and whatever you create isn't going to be enough to beat me? Is that true?" With then hearing this from that of the green net, Momo couldn't help but look down saying, "So it's really that easy to find out, huh?" With then she taking out of a deep sigh, as it's quite loud, with then saying, yes, it's true. It's all I can think about. Ever since, I could tell I'm helping you out quite a bit. You did say you need to work on your perception and sensitivity around you. So I figured that maybe if you improve this much, maybe I can improve just as well. And yet, with then looking back at all of her training sessions, trying to use that of a steel rod, not first time, Izuku overwhelmed her using that of a bow staff. Second time, going that for close range combat, switching to that of 2 Eskrima sticks instead of that of a bow staff. Soon, Izuku overwhelmed her with that of his daggers instead. And third time, during sparring, figured she might need to change things up a little bit. She tries to use that of a katana. Izuku doing the same thing, and the spar was one-sided like hell. With that, it became Momo's confidence after each and every one of their spars began to dip down. But when she helps Izuku improve, she can help but feel happy, saying that at least she's useful in some other way instead of in that of combat. Hearing all of this, Izuku couldn't help but feel down, realizing, I am such an idiot. With then hearing this, Momo couldn't help but be shocked and surprised hearing Izuku call himself that, saying, "What, Midoriya, why would you? I should have realized that you were suffering, that you couldn't keep up with me in that way. You never actually fought before, or rather, you never thought of, changing up your style or abilities at all. You've always relied on the same thing over and over again. Didn't expect that anybody could overwhelm you. So when we started sparring and I started beating you, I thought that you were basically learning and trying to adapt your style. But instead you haven't, and I haven't done anything to help you when you've been helping me so much. God, I'm such an idiot." With then Momo saying, "Midoriya, please stop insulting yourself. You're not. With then Izuku saying, "Today, we're not going to be sparring with each other. Instead, why don't I teach you new techniques and abilities?" With then saying, "Wait, new techniques? Like what, for example?" With then Izuku smiling, saying, "The basics. You always use that of an, iron staff to help you in combat. Why don't we? And you always do that of basic thrusts, swings, and that of sweeps. You need to switch up your style, your range. Don't just use an iron rod just for that of defense, for offense. Use it for defense as well. I know you can create a shield, but doing so takes too much time. Don't just focus on your next move, focus on your current move, on what you're going to do. And then you can focus on your next move and adapt after your first mistake and first technique. That's what you need to focus on." Hearing all of this, Momo couldn't help but be shocked, surprised, and actually somewhat happy about all this. With then, she couldn't help but say, "Thank you, Midoriya. I appreciate your words." With then Izuku saying, if you appreciate them a lot, then let's get back into business. After saying that, he creates that of a black and green bow staff, anti-quirk bow staff. With then saying, all right, let's focus more on that of basics, on a unique form of bojutsu. With then Momo saying, so what kind of form? Saying, we call it Form 10. Form 10 focuses more on rapid and wild strikes. Well, it might seem like you're just basically doing random hits to your opponent. Instead, focus more on aiming at opponents to keep them disoriented, such as certain weak points on the body, such as the joints, that of the neck, the head, and even that of certain points in the elbow, such as their funny bone. If you can do that and aim properly with your wild strikes, then you got a proper opportunity to hit. With then, after saying this, Momo creates that of an iron rod as well. Within, she mimics Izuku's movements. Within, Izuku saying, that's it, keep it going. Just focus more on the movement. Then you can then actually go crazy on it. Add your own flair to it instead. With then doing so, they decided to just continue doing the same thing over and over again on the same movements and same strikes that Izuku is doing. With that, they soon switch over from within Izuku saying, now switch over to a different type of weapon. Don't just focus on that of staffs. Focus on other arms as well. Like you did try to use Eskrima sticks. With then Momo saying, I did try to do something different but now I actually do understand. With then Izuku saying, perfect. With soon creating that of 2 daggers. With then saying, instead, Eskrima sticks and that of daggers are somewhat the same, but different at the same time. When using 2 weapons at the same time, you have to focus on your hand-eye coordination, your techniques, and your grip as well. For example, if your grip is too loose, the weapon will be sent flying. And not only that, you can also lose control of the weapon and hit either yourself, somebody around you, or basically falls to the ground. Keep it too tight. If you hit something, it will just hurt you in the process. You either need to have that of strong, sturdy hands to have that of a tight grip, or you would need to have that of steady hands. Either so, you could hurt yourself if your grip is too tight on the weapon. You need to be a balance between that of sturdiness and looseness at the same time. With then, as Izuku goes to Momo, basically seeing her hand grip, with then both Izuku and Momo begin to blush, with Izuku internally thinking that he is way too close to a girl this time. At least it's close to a girl that he actually knows and actually cares about, than the girls back at Aldera who only see him for being popular due to his quirk and all. With Momo, on the other hand, she's kinda, embarrassed as well, as she's had tons of guys that basically try to ask her out on dates before, but mostly either due to her body or due to her family's wealth. Right now, it's with a guy that actually genuinely wants to help her and genuinely wants to get to know her as well. With then, as both of them basically bite down their blushes and embarrassment so they can help one another. Within, Izuku saying, right here, your left hand, right on that of your middle finger and your index finger as well. They're too tight. Loosen up a bit, but enough where you can still hold that of good grip. And also, your wrist too. Your wrist is what you truly need to help you improve and handle your weapons as well. If you want to swing around your weapons with that of a good grip to disorient or to distract your enemies, you need that. Your wrist needs to be at least a little bit limber, or at least somewhat capable of handling a lot of strain and stress while moving them around. best to do that of hand exercises to help you out with that, to increase your wrist bones. Within hearing all of the advice that Izuku was given to Momo, Momo couldn't help but ask, saying, "You know quite a bit, Midoriya. I didn't expect that you would be able to learn many of this thing." Within Izuku saying, "Well, you see, I took a lot of, because of my quirk basically focuses on me having that of a active imagination and me being aware of the weapon that I create. I can't just create a weapon out of for that of flashiness or to look cool and all that. I have to be practical. I have to realize my own strengths and weaknesses, especially my own body's strengths and weaknesses. Like, for example, if I wanted to, I'm starting to learn how to use that of great swords. However, the younger version of me who wanted to use them, I couldn't, because I didn't have the body for it, the muscle mass, or the strength for it either. But as I grow older and older, I'm getting used to certain types of weapons and swords as well. That's on how I'm able to improve. Plus, I also look up videos all across the internet, even some from that of from countries outside of Japan as well. They help me out a lot. They even have that of tips for those who are trying to study as well. Plus, well, my family isn't poor, but we're not that well off. My dad has, worked overseas and supports us. He pays the bills helping out. But when it comes to me learning how to use weapons and certain martial arts skills and techniques, we don't have the money for that though. So I had to learn myself. It's the only way I can improve. With hearing that, Momo couldn't help but say, "I see. You know, as I've grown up, I've lived a life of, pretty modest luxury, and I think I take it for granted too much. Even I don't like to flaunt my wealth to people. I prefer people can just treat me like anyone else has, normal as everyone else, without seeing me for, my family's money." With then hearing this, Izuku could help but say, "Yeah, Yorozu." As Izuku couldn't help but smile, hearing this, saying, "I wouldn't treat you differently. To be honest, I think you're the first true friend I've had in years." With then, Momo actually steps back quite a bit, while basically trying to calm her face down a little bit, saying, "First true friend? What do you mean, Midoriya?" Within, Izuku basically realized what he said, saying, "Oh, right. First true friend. Well, you see, it's because I don't really have many friends at all, to be honest." As Izuku began to explain his childhood, feeling like she's the only person that he's told this to in years. With hearing all of this, Momo couldn't help but gasp in that of shock, that of disgust, and that of sadness as well, that Izuku's life has been like this. And also doesn't like the fact that many people nowadays only look up to him and only like him because of his quirk, but not due to his hard work and determination to improve himself and to make his somewhat useless quirk into that of a powerful and useful one at that. With then, soon, Momo couldn't help but say, "Izuku, next week, are you free?" With then saying, "Huh? Free? But don't we need to, are you free during the weekend?" With then Izuku caught off guard, saying, "Yeah, I am." Saying, "Then I would like to spend time with you. Not as that of sparring or training, but as hanging out, as that of friends. How does that sound?" With then hearing this, Izuku couldn't help but begin to blush even more, saying, "Really? You want to hang out with me as friends? That isn't sparring or training or improving ourselves?" With then Momo saying, "Yes, that's exactly what I want, Midoriya. Are you?" With then Izuku saying, "Sure, I don't mind. I'm totally free. I would totally love to. I mean, if that's okay." With then Momo couldn't help but giggle to herself. With then saying, "Of course, After all, we're friends, right? With Izuku saying, yeah, I guess we are. With that, Momo soon leaves, saying, I'll see you on Sunday, Midoriya. With Izuku commenting, saying, yeah, see you Sunday, Yaoyorozu. After that exchange, the two separate from one another, with Momo leaving Dagobah Beach and Izuku still at the trash-covered beach. Well, semi-trash-covered beach, given that the two have been helping out cleaning up at least a bit of the beach from time to time. There's still plenty, and I mean plenty of plenty, but at least they got at least a little quarter of the beach already taken care of. With that, Izuku just finally realized, saying, I know it's not a date, but I'm actually hanging out with a friend, and she's also a girl. Huh. Well, there's something new every day, it seems. With Izuku couldn't help but laugh to himself, but feeling quite nervous about the situation that he is in. With that, Izuku began to leave Dagobah Beach as well. As a couple days have now gone by since the incident from, about a couple months ago, Bakugo has always been more and more aggressive towards Izuku, wanting to basically prove that he's the strongest in Aldera, proving that he's better than him, and that somebody like him and something like Izuku has no right to be going to UA. However, Izuku, on the other hand, doesn't really care too much, as he's basically continuing moving forward, not even bother with Bakugo's declarations of wanting to, fight him and beat him and all that other bullshit. To Izuku, improving himself and getting stronger in his own way alongside that of Momo is what's truly important, what truly matters to him. And getting in pointless arguments with Bakugo is basically not even worth his time. However, if he wants to face against Bakugo, Izuku wants to do it when they're at UA to show that all the hard work and training that he's done wasn't worth nothing. That everything he did was to show that he's improved on leaps and bounds after all. Soon, Sunday finally arrives, and Izuku is arrived at one of the train stations nearby at Tatooine Mall, with him wearing his trademark red sneakers, wearing that of baby blue shorts, and also wearing that of a green shirt with the kanji saying shirt. As Izuku looks around, thinking, did I come a little too early? Oh man, I really hope that I didn't. I hope this doesn't seem like desperate. With then Izuku trying to think to himself, no, calm down, Izuku. Take deep, long breaths. Calm yourself. Focus. Sure, maybe she's just running late. I mean, she is a girl from a wealthy family. She must be dealing with something very important that has to do with her family. That's probably the reason why she's running at least a little bit late. Or possibly her train is, been derailed at least a little bit. There's also that, too. With then, soon, Izuku couldn't help but think, or maybe she stood me up. With then Izuku saying, no. I've been hanging out with her for almost for 3 months, and she's been helping me out a bit. There's no way she could. Getting out of his thoughts, a train finally leaves the station, with a few people who were already on the train began to leave and go down from the station floor. Within soon, Izuku noticed that one of the girls were familiar, as she has that of a familiar spiky ponytail, as she wears that of a light pink dress with that of puffy sleeves, and also as that of a red shirt under the dress as well, and her wearing that of heeled boots. With it being Momo, with Izuku couldn't help but actually blush looking at the sophisticated and responsible girl that that he's starting to get to know for a while now. With then soon Momo noticing Izuku, she couldn't help but smile seeing the person that she sees as her friend. With then she's saying, Midoriya, hi, did you wait long? Or did you just arrive the same as me? With then Izuku saying, actually I think I showed up way too early than before. Or I just don't know. Or maybe I'm way too early? I don't really know. Within Momo saying, we did say to arrive around that of, around that of 3 o'clock. And it's 3:30. With then both look at each other. Within soon Momo saying, my apologies. I realized that I was actually planning to come here a little bit earlier, but the train that I was on kind of got delayed at least a little bit for that of 30 minutes. So within Izuku saying, no, it's totally fine. I totally understand the reason. You don't need to explain. With hearing that, Momo couldn't help but smile saying, thank you for understanding, Midoriya. I appreciate it. Within Izuku smiling saying, no problems. So, what should we do? Within Momo saying, I was actually hoping that you would know. I've never actually hanged out with anybody before my own age. Normally, I have that to my parents and my servants take care of shopping and things like that. Within Izuku saying, oh my god, this girl really is sheltered and really well off. Within not letting it faze him, within soon Izuku saying, well, I'm new to this too. I used to hang out with a couple of kids my age back when I was younger, but let's just say our relationship has become quite, dysfunctional in a way. So I'm pretty new to this too. With then Momo saying, I see. With soon the two feeling quite nervous around one another. Before then, both of them were about to speak before cutting each other off. Within soon Momo saying, you go first, Midoriya. Within Izuku saying, why don't we just hang around, see what we like around here, or see what you like around here too, if you would like. Within Momo saying, I actually like that, to be fair. With hearing that, both Izuku and Momo began to walk around while seeing about a couple of stores and a couple of, food stalls as well. With then Izuku noticed that of a hero merch shop as he begins to geek out over many of the heroes there. With then Momo actually quite surprised and shocked seeing Izuku basically overreact like that before, as she's never seen Izuku, this fanboyish. I mean, she's seen him basically seem more calm, cool, and collective when they spar together and train together too. But seeing him like this is a whole other level, as she can't help but somewhat admire the look on his face. Within Izuku noticing the look that Momo is giving him, within soon blushing and becoming quite nervous, saying, sorry, I didn't mean to, did I just... Within soon, Momo basically shaking her head saying, no, it's all right. Honestly, I'm more shocked and surprised that you basically can act like this, to be fair. Shows that you are even more approachable than I thought before. Within Izuku's eyes widening in shock, saying, I wasn't approachable? Within Momo realized what she just said, saying, it's not that you weren't approachable or anything like that. Like I said, I have seen you around a couple of times when I was training and basically, doing my runs around that at Dagobah Beach. But when I saw you basically using weapons and swords, personally I thought that you were kind of a vigilante training and kind of believed that you were going to cause trouble too. So I was a little bit afraid and scared at first. But when I noticed that you weren't really doing much and that you were also cleaning up the beach from time to time too, I realized maybe you weren't really a bad person or a person about to do some illegal things such as being a pro hero or like a vigilante. but instead, you're a really nice person. Call me shocked when I realized that you were also the same age as me. Saying this, Momo has that of a big smile on her face, that of comfort and also that of, well, caringness as well. With then, Izuku couldn't help but actually admire the smile on her face and couldn't help but smile himself, saying, "Thanks, Yayorozu. Personally, I was a little worried too. To be honest, I didn't think that, well, somebody actually would care about me for me instead of just for my quirk or popularity, especially back at school." With then Momo saying, "That mention it. You never really talk about your school life. I mean, I did tell you a bit about my school life from time to time. I do have friends, but it's not that, well, you know." Within Izuku saying, "Yeah, I'm aware." Within looking around saying, "Can we talk somebody a lot more private?" Saying that, Momo gets a little worried before nodding, saying, "Sure, I don't mind." After saying that, soon both Izuku and Momo walk off to somewhere secluded around the open area mall. With somewhere else in Dagobah Mall, for example, is that of a certain Pomeranian spiky ashen blonde with crimson red hair walking around with his two lackeys saying, "Why the hell am I even here?" Within soon, a guy with that of brunette hair with having that of stretchy fingers can up and say, "Come on, Bakugo. I know you've been training a lot, but still, at least get some time to relax." Within soon, another guy with that of, well, black hair and that looks like that of a bowl cut saying, "Yeah, come on, man. Just relax and take some time off." With one of them basically, as the guy has that of a cigarette in his hand, saying, "Will you cut that shit out? Stop smoking around here. Are you trying to ruin my damn record to get into UA?" With then soon, he's saying, okay, chill. With soon putting out saying, "Seriously, given the shit that you do on a daily basis, I'm more surprised that smoking's the problem for you." With then soon, the guy with the stretchy finger saying, "I mean, can you blame him? I mean, after all, UA is a prestigious school. Anything can basically go on your record, even out of school as well." With it, so he can say, "Yeah, I guess you're right. But hey, he's not the one smoking though." With it, soon, Bakugo saying, "That's the problem. Even if I'm not, this damn smoke would be lingering around me. That's the problem, you dumbass little shit." With then soon getting a little bit nervous, saying, all right, I'll stop." With then soon Bakugo couldn't help but say, "Damn it, I'm so frustrated. I should use this damn time to be training and improving my quirk, but instead, all I am here is with you idiots thinking about that dumbass Deku." Within the brunette-haired guy saying, "I get that, but what's the problem? I mean, wouldn't it be great that both of you go to UA? It would mean a lot of publicity for Aldera. I mean, don't get me wrong, Bakugo. I still think you're the strongest in our class in the entirety of the school. But I think you need to realize that maybe you don't have to be the only one being the strongest." With then soon Bakugo basically having a thought in his head saying, "I'm not the strongest," as he begins to remember his childhood, as he always admired All Might, admired his strength, admired his power, admired that he was always the winner, always on top of everybody, proving that as long as you have strength, as long as you have power, you will always be number one. The one who's up top is the one who always truly wins, no matter what." With then hearing that, soon hearing that from one of his childhood lackeys, basically grabs him by the collar saying, "Don't you dare, and I mean dare, ever say something that stupid to my face, or even around me ever again, you little shit! And if you do, I'll blow your goddamn head off!" After saying that, the guy couldn't help but shake his head noddingly in that of acceptance, mostly out of fear and mostly terror. With then the other guy couldn't help but feel quite nervous too, wondering if he doesn't say anything or even speak anything, then he probably won't get hit as well. As he just continues looking, within soon, basically tossing him over with a few people who were around the mall or trying to get to the mall, basically begin to fear Bakugo, with a few of them thinking, oh boy, is he basically causing trouble? Could he be a villain that's basically threatening those kids? Saying, possibly, maybe they're just friends arguing. But why would a friend basically say something like that? With then Bakugo hearing the rumors and talks, then saying, oh, shut up, you damn extras! With then everybody getting freaked out and begin walking more and more away from the situation and away from Bakugo, afraid that he'll snap on them again. With then soon, Bakugo saying, I am freaking out of here. With soon, Bakugo was then walking away, with then his two lackeys following after him too. As Bakugo continues walking, he begins to notice a certain mop of messy green net hair. With then, he begins to look back. However, as soon as he looks back, the messy hair soon disappears. With it saying, was that damn Deku? Why was he? But then soon, trying to look around once again, but then notice that he's not there. With then soon saying, damn it all. Even when the damn nerd's not even here, I still think about the little shit. Ugh, irritating me. With that, Bakugo continues stomping away and more out of the mall, with his lackeys feeling quite nervous and terrified for their health, believing as soon as they reach that of the train station back to, well, Masafu, they're going to be running away as fast as they can back home. Back with Izuku and Momo, on the other hand, Izuku and Momo began to sit next to that of a water fountain, with then Izuku began to explain his childhood, explaining that ever since he was a kid, everybody used to look down on his quirk. A quirk that basically nullifies other people's quirks by creating that of weapons. However, because he can only create that of a dainty little kitchen knife, a lot of people didn't expect much from him. Not even his best friends at the time didn't even think much of him. Even though when he used to look up to one of them, used to admire him for his strength and power. And when Izuku began to improve, began to use many other weapons, look up videos, and even that of improve his body and fighting styles too, instead of his friend taking him in, thinking that he's become strong as well, thinking that they both can reach the same level. Instead, he just continues to look down on him, continues to bully him, and continues to see him weaker than him, even to the point that their friendship basically is utterly destroyed and turned into shattering pieces on the ground, feeling like no matter how many times they try, or how many times the green-eyed boy tries to even want to make their friendship work again, the ashen blonde just continues to make it worse over and over. And that's Izuku's story. Within Momo hearing this saying, Midoriya, I'm so sorry. It's all right. You have nothing to apologize for. I mean, it's not like you're Kachan and basically tries to belittle me every chance he gets, even though I'm just as strong or possibly even stronger than him. But doubtful. As much as I hate to admit it, I can tell that Kachan also improves himself day in and day out, just like me. But there's differences between the two of us. For example, I had to work myself day in and day out to improve myself since I only have that of a quirk that basically creates weapons. I have to use different fighting styles, techniques to improve myself, to overwhelm certain people, or to keep myself from getting hurt all the time. Kachan, on the other hand, has a quirk that basically allows him to deal powerful, explosive attacks, while also being able to have that of good maneuverability if he wanted to. And knowing him, he already figured that out. He isn't the kind of person to not allow any kind of flaws into his fighting style. Well, not any flaws too easily to figure out that much. To be honest, he overlooks quite a bit of things, but focuses way too much on dealing brutal force and overwhelming people. I can tell because of how he's able to, how his body is looking as time goes on. His upper torso being both his chest, arms, and even his shoulders have become a lot more broader and a lot more bigger too, proving that he's trying to improve on how much power he can use in it for his quirk. And to be honest, as much as I hate him, as much as he pisses me off on a daily basis, I still can't help admire that determination in him. How much he's driven to become a hero. I may not agree with his motives, his reasoning for being a hero anymore, or why he wants to be a hero, but I can still admire that determination and drive. After all, as much as I hate him, he's still the closest thing to a friend I had as a kid. Until I met you, Yaoyorozu. As Izuku's, sad and basically lonely smile turns into a gentle and yet caring smile when looking at Momo. Within, Momo couldn't help but feel saddened at one point, but then felt glad that Izuku was also her first friend in a while too. Within, she sang, "Midoriya, thank you. Thank you for telling me what you said." But then Izuku saying, "I'm glad that you listened, and sorry if I bored you with a story like mine." But then saying, No, you have done no sort of thing. If anything, I'm glad I was an ear to lean on. After all, what are friends for?" Within, Izuku and Momo couldn't help but smile at each other. Within saying, "Well then, we still have plenty of more time to relax and hang out. Anywhere else that we should go to have fun? I mean, it looks like you had plenty of fun at that hero store." Within, soon, Izuku began to blush, saying, "Oh God, still can't believe you saw that side of me." Within, Momo saying, "Just say, honestly, I kind of like that side of you. It shows that you're a lot more approachable and a lot more relatable than I expected. And you have so much passion for heroes, which I kind of like too." With that, both Izuku and Momo both begin to blush, but not out of embarrassment, but out of happiness for making new friends that basically care about each other in their own way. After that, they began to continue hanging around that of Tatooine Mall and began to get a couple of souvenirs, eat some sweets together, and also before leaving, they saw that of a villain attack within a couple of heroes stopping the villain, defeating them, and putting the crowd at ease. However, for Izuku though, he couldn't help but criticize their methods, as it almost seemed like they were basically trying to show off for the crowd instead of defeating the villain quickly and proficiently. Within, Momo not agreeing with Izuku's words as well, thinking that maybe heroes nowadays are more in it for the attention and basically recognition instead of just trying to save the day. With then, both Izuku and Momo couldn't help but agree even more when they both noticed this. Next couple of weeks or so, Izuku and Momo continue their training together. As right now, Izuku's in one of the centers of Dagobah Beach, with then Momo basically somewhere on the sidelines, as she soon creates that of a knife cutting a bit of ropes, saying, "Are you ready, Midoriya?" Saying, "On it. Do it." With that, she fully cuts through the rope, as the rope soon basically has that of multiple things sent flying towards Izuku. Some of them being that of, multiple suction cup arrows, that's of little balls as well, and also some that look like that's of Bowie ropes as well, with then Izuku closing his eyes, as then he basically dodges the suction cup arrows coming at him by dodging to the side. Within a couple of balls aiming at him, he ducks down before then soon the Bowie rope soon comes over him to try and to catch his arms and his legs. With then soon he basically with one hand he basically lifts himself up into the air, dodging the ropes. With then soon one last thing coming at him, as it being from that of a cannon. Within the cannon fires, sending the ball towards that of Izuku. Within soon, Izuku creating that of a katana, an anti-quirk katana. Within soon, opening his eyes, he soon swings down, cutting while still in the air, cutting that of the cannonball, slicing it in two, with then landing down the ground the same time as the cannonball lands down too. Within, Momo saw this, saying, incredible! He was able to do all that in just a matter of few seconds. His reaction time, it's truly improved this much. Within, soon, Izuku couldn't help but have that of a cocky smirk, saying, oh yeah, now that's what I like to see. Both of my reaction speed and my spatial awareness has improved so much. I can basically feel anything that's coming after me by the shifting of the air. Not only that, I can dodge way much more quickly and note it, and my body reacts way faster than expected. To be honest, I think I basically reached the level of a sidekick already. Within Izuku having that of a cocky smile. However, that cocky smile basically betrays itself as tears begin to well up into his eyes, as from that of all of his hard work with Momo has finally paid off, given that this hard work also led to him having a new best friend. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, what did you guys think? And in case you guys wondering, yes, Izuku is being shipped with Momo in this story, but it's more of a slow burn because, again, ships don't really matter to me when it comes to what is. It's just more of a way to divert more from canon to see on certain aspects that could change after all. That's why. And with both Izuku and Momo having that of somewhat similar quirks, it only makes sense that the two would have that of good chemistry. Also, I kind of would see that Momo's life wouldn't be quite easy. Maybe, well, financially and economically, yes. But when it comes to socially, we already seen on how much a ditch she is when it comes to social cues. Especially when accidentally basically lording over her money around her classmates after all. So, yeah, I can basically get that possibly some people would use her for her wealth and influence after all. So, yeah. Any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification, keep it to date my videos when I upload on the channel. Also, check out my Patreon and my Cash App, all down below, if you guys feel like wanting to support me. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys. Hope you all take care. Shiro Kitsune, my lovely lady, you know what to do.
Hi everyone, this is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!